What's up, gamers? We are back with more Starfield, picking up right where we left off here at Crucible. And there's definitely something really weird vibes I'm getting from this place. It reminds me of the Fallout series. There's a perk you can take, at least in the recent Fallout games. I forget what it's called exactly. I want to say Wacky Wasteland. But it's a perk you can take to have like some of the weirder side quests that the developers wanted to do appear in the game, and some of the weird like encounters and stuff that they scripted. I almost feel like it's like a side project that the Bethesda devs do, or Obsidian in the case of Fallout New Vegas. That they just do for fun, and then like some of them get baked into the game under Wacky Wasteland. But this place is giving me major Wacky Wasteland vibes. Like something weird and strange is going on here. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. So far in this game, I've been most impressed with the side quests. More than anything. It's kind of weird. It's going almost opposite to what you'd think. I'm finding the side quests the most interesting and engaging, followed by the faction quests. And then I feel like still a last place for me has got to be the main story. It's all very close, but that's just how I feel. Like, as far as like enjoyment and how engaging I'm finding the story, I think right now I'm a little bit thrown by the main story because I feel like it's kind of weak storytelling. But that could very well be because I just don't have the full picture yet. Obviously, there's a bit of bias that comes in. With the fact that I can complete the side quests and I can complete the faction quests and get the full picture. I know I felt some kind of way about the Freestar Collective quest until the very last mission when we finally got the full picture of what was going on with everything, what Ron Hope was up to, what the First was doing, what their motivations were. We didn't get that till the very end, so it might be very similar with the main story, and I'm just jumping the gun with rating it poorly. But let's find out what's going on here at Crucible, shall we? I'm supposed to talk to Franklin. Operation Starseed is the name of this mission. I don't think I'd really clocked that yet. That's a very interesting mission name. I know I talked about how it sounds like the colonists here have been here for like generations, and that maybe it's sort of similar to the ECS Constant story where they were like a generation ship. I feel like this is a generation space colony, but I don't know what their deal is. They certainly seemed surprised and excited and a little bit fearful to have an outsider come pay them a visit. Ada, who's the lady I met at the gate and gave me weird sketchy vibes because she was overly nice, said that I should speak to Franklin and learn more about Crucible, which is the name of this place. So let's get to it. Franklin's right there. I think I already got some information in that they're like, well, let's just talk to Franklin, see what he has to say, and then I'll talk further on what I'm thinking about this place, because certainly he's going to give me some information about that that will change everything.
When your ship landed, I feared the robots would shoot you on sight. I am greatly relieved that they let you enter our community, but you come during
That they let me?
delicate time. Everyone will seek to use your arrival to further their own ends.
Okay. Yeah. Primary question. I thought that was weird the way he worded that. I was like, what do you mean relieved that they let, like you guys told the robots to let me come, right? I don't, what do you mean? You don't control the
We
robots?
most certainly do not. Our relationship with them is a matter of some debate.
Oh, this is so wacky already. They don't control the robots control them. Is this going to be like an AI is running this colony and they debate over like how much they should follow the will of the AI, and that's the whole divide? Yeah, Ada had said something about squabbles between factions in this place. This is an interesting dialogue choice. It's not something I'd picked up on myself. Well, I mean, they have a whole big variety of accents in this game, so I wasn't like thrown by his old timey accent.
Is something the
but-
matter?
No, nothing's the matter. I'm just. And you don't seek to use
You
me?
ask a question you already know the answer to. Yes, of course. I have need of you. But if you have a good heart and a quick mind, I am sure you will see my point of view.
Okay. So everyone here wants something from me. Even the robot I met at the front gate wanted some copper. I have to ask this since it's giving me the choice. I hadn't noticed this myself, but my character noticed this. So, yeah, Earstop, a good job clocking that about the weird accent and the old time outfit. That's a weird old time outfit, and your accent is odd.
Where to begin? Maybe an introduction? I am Franklin Delano Roosevelt, leader of the Pragmatist Society.
Okay. FDR, my favorite president. What are you doing here in Starfield? What? You have an odd name. No, I know FDR. New Deal. The last presidents that got to make a big difference when it came to social welfare in this company. Built the middle class to be a powerhouse consumer base for the world, which lasted, until Nixon ruined everything. Roosevelt. I know I've heard that name before.
Well, it is gratifying that even after all these years, my name isn't entirely forgot.
My name?
You see,
you're not actually FDR.
I was an American president. Well,
No, you
not
weren't. Shut up.
literally, but
Okay.
in a sense I was. Everyone that lives here are clones. Some of us are clones of the greatest figures of history, and others, well, we don't rightly know. When we die, and some of us die quite often, we are brought back. I cannot imagine how strange this must sound to an outsider.
Man, I knew I was getting wacky wasteland vibes from this quest and this area, but expectations exceeded. I guess. Like what? So you're an actual clone of the FDR. Oh my, he does kind of look like FDR. I mean, a younger FDR maybe. So everyone here's a clone of a famous historical figure.
I do have a society to manage.
Yeah, buddy, you just dropped a bomb on me, so you're just gonna have to give me a minute to deal with that. What was the name of the other character I met? I was just looking at the Ada, right? So Ada, Ada. Oh, I was about to say Ada Braun, but no, that would be Ava. Oh, Ada, is it Ada Lovelace? Is it Ada Lovelace? Bro, I'm gonna have to. All right, here's a bet I'm placing right now, because whenever in sci-fi there are clones of famous figures from history,
I do have other business.
they always do Amelia Earhart. Oh, like, which is weird because like it doesn't make any sense because she was lost, right? Right. It's a big mystery mystery of the modern age. So there's no way that like the DNA of her exists anywhere for them to clone her. But I bet you. Here are my guesses. I bet there's an Amelia Earhart. I bet there's a Cleopatra. And I bet there's at least one other from American history. Maybe
I do have a
Billy the
society
Kid.
to manage.
Billy the Kid, Cleopatra, and uh, Amelia Earhart are my guesses that for other people we're going to meet here. Um, Maybe Mark Twain. Mark Twain. I'm gonna add as another guess also. Um, Sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. I'm sorry, FDR. I respect you a lot. I just it's a lot to take in. Surely you understand. Yeah, are you immortal then? Yeah, he said. Oh, yeah, so that's the other. I was already like I'm so hung up on the clones thing. He also mentioned like when they inevitably
I
die, they
do
come
have
back.
other
What does that
business.
even mean? I mean, I assume that means they're like cloned again, but are they somehow retaining their memories and stuff from their previous like lives? And now I'm back on like the name of the quest is Operation Starseed. So it's almost like oh, and they said that the robots control them, right? Or the robots are like in charge. All right, so my theory is now I don't even know what said for theories in the last video, but I was never expecting this. So
Is something the
whatever
matter?
it was completely wrong. Um, that like way back in like ancient Earth when they realized that the Earth was going to be destroyed, like a lot of different groups of people did different things. Like the ECS constant people, they launched that generation ship to try to save humanity that way. Um, Eventually, of course, uh, humanity developed grav drive technology, which enabled them to populate the stars or the Starfield. um, but so I imagine they sent off like a probe
I do have a
or like a
society to manage.
yeah, like a ship with just nothing but robots, because of course humans couldn't survive a big space flight without grav jump technology, which is the whole problem with the ECS constant, why they had multiple generations, born and living their whole lives in space over the course of what was it, like 200 years since the apocalypse, 250 years. So I think they sent out a ship which was kind of like the ECS constant, a long range ship without grav drive technology, to a planet like with the ECS constant, like they had a planet picked out, and I think this is the same deal. And the ship
I
was to like
do
land on that
have
planet,
other
and then
business.
the robot crew of that ship, like the ship had the components and necessary equipment they would need to clone people, like with DNA samples that were brought along for the trip. So once they got to the planet and they set down here, they set about cloning these famous historical figures to establish this like perfect society, or just to preserve humanity or what have you. And because it wouldn't be a big enough gene pool to be stable, they whenever one of them dies out, as part of the directive, they re-clone them.
Is something the
Um,
matter?
I know the robot mentioned something about like the mission and like something is necessary for the mission to continue and something in the last video. I Can't recall it right now. I'm sorry, FDR. I've left you waiting long enough. I'm sure anyone watching this video is sick of me speculating when I could just ask you questions and learn more about what's going on. Are you immortal then?
Not at all. I have had occasion to see death more than anyone. When someone dies, all they have accomplished here in Crucible, all of their deeds, thoughts,
Oh, okay, so their memories aren't
gone.
preserved.
And
Okay, okay. Well,
when
that
they come back,
is more realistic, at least.
they are different, modified.
Different, modified.
The believers say they are improved. Being reborn
Right, that's one of the
can take
factions.
years, sometimes over a decade. But everyone comes back.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Now my next question is, do they come back as fully grown adults? Or do they come back as, like, babies that are then raised by this weird society and taught that they are such and such? Like, he clearly knows about FDR, so even though he was born without memories as such, they clearly educate themselves about the figures that they're supposed to represent. Huh.
Is something the matter?
So you are a real president of the old United States of America?
Now, there is the question, isn't it? I do not have FDR's memories, but I
Right,
know
I
every
assumed that
nuance
also
of
was
his
true.
life and
Like, how would
times.
you?
Well, as much as history records.
Right, okay,
I
so they
confess,
study.
I feel an undeniable affinity towards him. But no,
Yeah, he was a good dude.
I am my own man, but
Sorry, I keep bumping my
not
mic.
all of us see it that way.
Okay. Right, so there's three factions I think we learned about in the last video. The true believers or whatever. Franklin Delano Roosevelt here is the leader of the pragmatists. And then the third one was either the rebels or the renegades. So I gotta assume that the true believer. Oh yeah, so this is interesting. He says that they come back modified. So every new like incarnation of these historical figures is like the robots change it a little bit to try and like
I
improve
do
upon
have a
it or
society
something.
to manage.
Like the name of this place, the Crucible, is it's interesting.
Nice
Like
talking with you.
oh shit, oh crap.
When your ship
No.
landed, I am great, but you can't.
Oh, okay.
Where to
okay.
begin?
It restarted the
I
dialogue.
am
We're okay. We're
Franklin.
okay.
Well, it is. You see,
Please just get me back to that
everyone
same
that lives
dialogue
here,
tree. I
when
did not
we
mean to
die,
hit B.
I
I'm so
cannot-
sorry. Okay. Goodness gracious. I've completely lost my train of thought now because I panicked over hitting the wrong button. I just wanted to pause the game so that he would stop complaining at me. God, what was I saying? My mind, the adrenaline of panic has completely wiped my brain of anything that came before. Oh, I was the name of the place, the Crucible, and especially the thing about them like returning to the Crucible and like being improved upon and like for some reason it's making me think of yeah, shut up. For some reason it's making me think of Elden Ring. I don't know if anyone who's watching this has played Elden Ring, but there's in the Elden Ring universe, and this is not a spoiler, this is just some world building they do. There's this concept called the Crucible of Life, where it was like the origin of all living things was the Crucible, and it was very like the primordial state of life, and eventually, life diverged in different ways from the Crucible. But there's this whole thing about returning to the Crucible, and like it's a whole thing. It's This whole quest here is making me think of that.
I do have a
so
society to manage.
yeah. So let's see what we got here for actual dialogue options now that I've got the questions out of the way. I want to know who you people are and what's going on. Yeah, I've encountered stranger things. Yeah, also very true. The nonsense going on with the Starborn right now is trippy. All of this is hard to believe. I mean, it is, but I want to know who you people are
You
and
could
what's going
see
on.
how confusing this may be, even frustrating. But if
Yeah.
it's any consolation, many of us feel the same, and we live here. After
Okay, fair.
decades, centuries of trying to figure it out ourselves, there is so very much we don't know either.
Oh, so they don't really know the
Robots
purpose of this
clone
place.
us
The
for a
robots haven't
reason.
shared that with them.
Their so-called mission.
Right, the mission,
What
yeah.
that is and what we should do about it is something the societies disagree about. Sometimes violently. It's best to meet
understandable.
with the other societies, and after, I promise I'll explain the pragmatist's position on matters.
Okay. So the divides in this, well, he calls the factions here societies, so that's going to be annoying. But we're going to call them factions. And when I say the word society, I'm going to be referring to everyone who lives here at the Crucible. So the main divides in this society, the divides between the factions, revolve around what to do regarding their robot overlords, their lack of knowledge about the purpose behind the quote-unquote mission of the robots, and the cloning and everything that's going on.
Is something the matter?
No. What can you tell me about the mission?
Well, it is one of the few concrete things we know about Crucible.
I thought you just said you don't know the
If you
mission.
want to truly know about the mission, the believers will tell you all about it. In fact,
Okay.
it can be hard to get them to stop talking about it.
Okay.
After you meet with them, I'll share my position.
It's really weird that he wants me to, like, he doesn't want to tell me his opinion out the gate. Like, he wants me to meet with these other factions first. He must think that I'm going to, like, once I hear the wackadoodle opinions of these other two factions, and he, like, has a more pragmatic position, I'll be like, well, yeah, I side with you 100% FDR. I don't want to be passed off to the others. I want answers now. I mean, true. But that's a little... I don't need to be that aggressive about it. I can't wait to see who I get to meet next. I mean, true. Very true. But I'll hold you to that promise, Franklin.
Please do. Word has been sent, so the street should be full again. There
Oh,
is
nice.
more
Everyone's
I
coming
would
out of
talk
hiding
with you
now.
about, but I would not take advantage of your ignorance. Go speak with
Okay.
Amanirenas and Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan? I've not heard of Amon Arena since someone will flame me for not having.
The
Look at these
pragmatists are
people
the
that just
only
spawned in
ones
behind
who
you.
see
That's a little
Crucible
bit
for what it
weird.
really is.
Okay. That's a very strong opinion. I can see why these societies are in conflict. Genghis Khan and Amonarius. I like I said, I don't recall having heard about Amonarius. She's probably a very important historical figure. and
Roosevelt is the only one that really cares about us as people.
How the hell did you get a gun, Wyatt?
That is a good question.
And the answer?
I think
Wyatt.
I'll keep that one to myself.
Come on, tell me.
Thing is, if I tell you, you tell someone else.
How'd you get a
soon
gun, Wyatt? He's
my
asking.
side
You
business
actually
has
came from
competitors.
space.
So
Can you shut up?
I'll
I'm trying to listen to
pass.
this.
You're such an ass.
Wyatt, and I can see the cowboy hat from here. That's going to be Wyatt Earp. So I may be wrong about Billy the Kid. I knew there was going to be a cowboy, though, right? we knew it. Wyatt Earp, huh? Close enough
Change
to Billy
is
the Kid,
coming.
I dare say.
I can feel it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a bullet through your head if you interrupt important world building
of the
from
turrets
named
are failing.
NPCs ever again.
I know Amonarinus and the Believers are fixing them. You're free to assist them.
But if they all fail?
Then we will most likely
Turrets, huh?
die. All of us. Is that what you want to hear?
Is that all you have to
Turrets,
say?
huh? Is this a
That's
dangerous
why
planet
our
then?
aims are so important. We need to learn how to do things for ourselves. How to defend, how to produce power, how to fix the plumbing, for God's sake.
I just
Interesting.
wish
So
the
after all
societies
these,
could get along.
I will shoot you in the face. So I wonder if, like, just hearing the like side conversations, I wonder if after all these years, maybe centuries, the robots are starting to break down. And so the like things they've been doing to maintain the society are, oh God, there's like a Star Trek episode where there's a society run by AI, but like the AI like starts to break down and the people don't know how to do things for themselves. So it's like a major problem. Like even very basic things. Like the repair the plumbing, he said. Like, yeah. I think the game wants me to walk out this door, and like I think I'm going to be dragged into conversation with Wyatt. I think that's why I could hear him like having a conversation behind me. Oh, everything's stealing here, right? That makes sense. Just to look
You
around,
don't get
see if
old
there's any
on
other
Crucible
named
unless you're smart. FDR is the
NPCs
wisest
here.
of us.
Oh, she said something interesting like you don't get old at Crucible unless you're smart. I think she said. It's a weird thing to say. Rather living in these tight quarters, four to a room. Maybe FDR and the like named NPCs here get their own rooms. Who knows?
You're the
It'd be
most
funny if
exciting thing
FDR's
that's
like bunked
happened.
down with.
Well, ever.
Yeah, it's a. Oh, not even 4 to a room. It's actually 8 to a room because these are bunk beds. 6 in this room in a work area. There's a storeroom. Oh, see, look at this. This is our immediately like this is very sterile but then I come in here and it's like a nice lounge area, a desk here. Oh, and a very nice bedroom. So it pays to be the leader of the quote unquote societies, I guess. I'm betting this is FDR's place. With a private off-suite bathroom? Wow. Okay.
You can hear the howls at night. The defenses have to hold.
Yeah, so confirmed, like a very hostile planet, and their defenses are breaking down because the robots are breaking down, because blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that's what's going on here. That's why they're in so much disagreement about how to proceed. Okay.
Welcome to town, stranger. Consider me part of the welcoming committee. The name's Wyatt Earp, and I'd be most
I knew
pleased
it.
if you'd use one of the spare rooms during your stay. For a modest fee, of course.
Yeah, so if you're the law around here, Wyatt, I need to warn you. I'm about to kill whichever unnamed NPC decide to talk over your dialogue. I know my audience is sick of me complaining about this, but like, is it really that? Like, I've
Can a
never seen an
stranger be
RPG
trusted?
do it well.
The world
So,
is a prism of your
It's
perception.
clearly like some
What?
there's some difficulty
If
to it
you distrust everyone,
that I don't
they
understand.
will inevitably prove they are untrustworthy.
I just wish you'd
Did you
answer
hear
me
this shit?
straight once in a while.
Like this is a forced dialogue. I can't move. I mean, I could probably exit out of it and move.
Outsiders are stranger than I'd imagine.
Ooh, what's going on with the dirt there? Did you see that? Anyway, like, I really want to, like, if someone is like is a developer for video games or has ever dabbled in that, can you tell me in the comments why this is like a major hurdle that the gaming industry has not been able to overcome yet with like dialogue prioritization in video games? Like, there's Like in this game, just as an example, but this is like a problem in every game I've ever played, where there are NPCs, multiple NPCs in a single area. But in this game, like if you approach an NPC or you walk near them, they'll say a line. Usually it's like a random line of like 5 random lines that they have that they're capable of saying. But in this game, they're like coded to do that no matter what, like overriding anything else. And I just don't understand what is the like hurdle to making it so that if there's primary and like named NPCs, primary NPCs, story related dialogue happening, that doesn't trigger, right? Like I feel like that's how I would want if I was making a game. I would code it so that, unless it's like there's some weird difficulty to it that I'm not thinking of, but I would code it so that there's dialogue that takes priority over other dialogue, and the other dialogue can't trigger if that prioritized dialogue is happening. I realize like it makes the game slightly less realistic, like people do talk over each other in real life, but for an RPG, like when there are lines that you're only going to hear once because they're part of the story, it's so annoying to have some random NPC saying a line that you've heard 100 times already in the game and talking over the person that you're trying to listen to. Like I'm terrified to continue talking with Wyatt here because that NPC just walked up. I'm going to wait till those feet disappear in the background because I don't want to hear any...
Whatever, and...
Yeah, go away. Go away, other random NPC. No, keep going. Alright, there's shadows mostly off the screen now. I think we might be safe. I didn't figure Wyatt Earp would run a hotel. I thought Wyatt Earp was a sheriff. It's a real pleasure to meet you. I'm a big fan. I didn't figure Wyatt Earp would run a hotel.
You and me both there. I do the best I can to uphold the law, but the societies make that difficult. I expect I've had as much success restraining Genghis as the Chinese did. I do what I can. Roosevelt and I are both of the same mind on that.
Oh, interesting. A pragmatist, then. So you're a pragmatist,
I'm for whatever side wants to keep the peace. It means that the pragmatists and I are often on the same side of things.
I see.
But you might be surprised the number of times I've had to ask some of them to back off some nonsense.
Right, the, Ava, who I met when I first got here. That freaking NPC walked by and gave me some serious side-eye. She said she wasn't part of the society, so there are these faction groups, but then there are also just clones that live here that don't have any skin in the game. They just trying to live. Let me know if I can help.
That's a generous offer. I might take you up on it. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. And by the by, I may have access to some essentials I've picked up over the years. Happy to sell them to you.
Oh, you're also a merchant. Okay. Is there a lot of crime in Crucible?
It runs hot and cold. During usual times, it's an occasional scuffle. Maybe a black eye when an argument gets out of hand. And then a society goes on a rampage and it's tombstone all over. I hope your arrival keeps things on an even keel.
So they've had some serious violent incidents.
Don't
like
mind
straight
me.
up warfare between the factions at times. Yeah, sure, let's see what you have for sale. At once. Oh, so junk. You sell junk. Right. Good.
A
Goodbye
pleasure
now.
talking with you.
Bro, I didn't even have to walk more than 2 feet before I found Amelia Earhart. Why do they always do this? There's an episode of Star Trek Voyager where they it's not clones in that one. It's actually supposed to be the actual historical figures, like some aliens like collected historical figures from all over history, like just random humans from different time periods, and put them in like biopods, like suspended animation, and Voyager like stumbles upon them, and one of them is Amelia Earhart. For this one, it doesn't make sense though, because how would they have gotten Amelia Earhart's DNA, right? I said that earlier. Bro, that's so funny. Let's go talk to Amelia Earhart, shall we?
In my darkest hours, I feared that we were all that was left of humanity.
Right, so they are, yeah, you know, going with my theory that they left before, but probably near to the end of humanity's ability to live on Earth.
I need to go out there. I want to see it do everything there is to be done. Your ship, she's a beauty. It
Oh, thank
travels
you.
the stars, right? Tell me, what's it like out there?
It's interesting. See, she's like, it travels the stars, right? She's like, that's amazing. So, like, yeah, starships were not like a thing
Can the stranger be trusted?
whenever they departed from Earth
world is a
for this
prism of your
project
perception.
that the robots were on.
What?
If you
Oh,
distrust
so
their
interesting.
they will inevitably prove they are untrustworthy.
She said,
I
"Tell
just
me
wish
everything
you'd
so I
ask
can
me
say
straight
not.
once in a
No
while."
matter how much I see, it never gets old. I spend most of my time just keeping the ship fueled." There's just a dialogue option left over from when having to manage your ship's fuel was a thing in the game. Space is very big and mostly empty. True.
Is waiting around like this common out there?
Yes. I'm more interested in you, actually.
I don't know if that's flattery or curiosity. My
Curiosity,
name's Amelia
100%
Earhart.
curiosity.
When I first
Right.
woke up in this place, in my head, I knew all about my namesake, her life and her accomplishments. But I also knew how to fly a starship, reactor limits, thrust acceleration vectors and everything. In my mind's eye, I can imagine flying out there, touching heaven itself. And yet, cruelly, here I sit.
Weird. So I may have misunderstood what FDR was telling me. It sounds like they do have some sort of innate knowledge put into their brain. Like, he made it sound like he knew he didn't have any of the memories of... Well, I guess he did specify memories. She didn't say she has Amelia Earhart's memories. She says that she just innately knew all these things about her life. So maybe it's the same deal with FDR. He didn't have to study those things. He just innately knew all the historical data on FDR, right? And she's saying that not only
We're
that,
still
but
talking,
she...
right?
Yeah, give me a minute. She also had this other knowledge implanted about starship design, starship engineering, and piloting and whatnot. Sort of like how you start out the game Starfield with these starter skills. Yeah, I feel for her, like, knowing all about starships and stuff like that, but then not being able to leave this, like, little like micro town on this planet here. That would be torture.
Is something wrong?
Why do you know about
The
space flight?
facility keeps
Yeah,
us
tell me more
alive,
about that,
fed
please.
and protected. But they do a terrible job of informing us of anything at all. My guess is the facility thought they might need a pilot one day. But your guess
okay.
is as good as mine.
So she doesn't know why she has that knowledge, but she's aware it comes from the quote-unquote facility, the robots, if you will. Oh, can I recruit Amelia Earhart to my crew? I don't know what to make of you or anyone else here.
Funny, some of us have had the same thought about you.
is
Listen,
fair, I guess.
I know you owe me nothing at all, but I would do anything to get off of here. I know the societies want who knows what from you for who knows why, and I don't want to get involved in any politics. I just want,
Smart
for my
choice.
single self, A chance to explore.
You can 1,000%. If I can help you, I will.
You won't regret it. Thanks. Do you
Please tell
wanna
me I
talk
can
about
get
anything
Amelia
else?
Earhart on my crew. Have any thoughts on the societies?
I have a few choice, unchristian thoughts about some of them. But I'm going to stay out of it. Listen, I'd understand you making any decision you have to regarding them. Any at all. I just hope you judge me separate. I don't wish harm on anyone. I just want to explore.
Then we will most
Yeah,
likely
that's fair. Do you think you're the real Amelia
No,
Earhart?
I don't. I consider
Okay.
myself a
So
most
she
ardent
knows.
admirer of hers. She feels like family. Distant family. I like to think
That's a
we
good way to
both
think
share a
about it.
kindred spirit of adventure, though. She broke so many barriers in her life. I would love the same opportunity one day.
Yeah. If you can join my crew, I am 1,000% happy to take you with me, dear.
Goodbye, outsider.
Goodbye, Amelia. I love your accent. Alright, well, I mean, clearly we need to be looking around. I assume all the actual named NPCs here are famous historical figures, and they probably all have interesting dialogue for me. Oh, well, crap, this is one of the people I'm supposed to talk to?
This unit is busy.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's, Amani Reynes. I'm not going to shoot her. I want a closer look without. Oh yeah, look at that. So maybe a figure from Greece, ancient Greece, or ancient Rome. Robot, you're so freaking rude. What the hell? Or ancient Egypt even. Maybe I was close with Cleopatra, guess. No, we're just going to avoid you for now, Amon Reyes. I want to look around. That dot over there is going to be Genghis Khan. I wish it wasn't nighttime. I'm tempted to go, like, take a nap in my ship until daylight so I can actually have a proper look around this place. What's up, Tobias? Yeah, there's a little bit of pop in there. Clone Settler, so that's the super generic. Oh, it is Renegade. So we've got the Pragmatists, the Renegades, and the True Believers. I haven't seen any... Oh, Believer, there we go. And then there's the Clone Settlers that are just none of the above, I guess. I'm surprised I don't see any other named NPCs. Where did Ada go? I want to see if she's actually Miss Lovelace. Oh, I didn't notice you before. Hold on. Who are you? Oh, you are Ada, and you are Ada Lovelace.
If you arrived, others will too. Change is coming. I can't wait.
Well, I arrived because of a distress signal, although the guards of the settled system seem very anxious to tell anyone who will listen about that distress signal, so maybe. If you've stopped broadcasting it now that I'm here, though, you guys are kind of out of the way, so... are you a scientist?
I suppose I am what passes for one here. I have my namesake's education, so I am well versed there. But without any books or treatises from other scientists, my knowledge is limited. Some clones received specialized knowledge, like Amelia. She knows how spacecraft works. So interviewing them has been fantastic for learning more advanced scientific principles. But mainly I conduct experiments, rudimentary as they are.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the, like, as amazing as Ada Lovelace is, historically, you know, you'd have a firm grasp of mathematics and stuff like that, but you would definitely, like, without getting the boon that Amelia has with knowledge implanted into your brain, you'd have a hard time other than using the scientific method, I suppose.
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, are you a
Will the
clone? I mean,
facility
I know,
fail?
but are you a clone of a historical figure too?
Why, yes. Ada Lovelace, at your service. My
Pleasure to
namesake
meet you,
works
Ada.
with Charles Babbage and is widely considered the first female programmer. And to see what our little experiments led to, I only wish Mr. Babbage was here.
Yeah, you're living in a society run by AI and
settled
robots and
systems
stuff
live.
now. I imagine that would be
mission so much more vital.
How can you be so sure?
If you listen close to your heart, you can hear it. Our destiny calls to us.
I don't hear it.
Then listen harder. Once you do hear it, your life will never be the same.
I'm guessing she's the leader of the quote-unquote true believers. Just based on... I should have been paying attention. I missed the start of whatever they were talking about. But she's talking about
I
destiny
get
and
lost in thought too.
shit. How is it not being in a society
Uncomfortable, truth be told. The believers are undeniably favored by the facility. Their complex receives
Interesting.
food and materials first. When blood is spilt, the facility robots often side with them, and always the arguments
Interesting.
and fisticuffs. Most of us just want to live in peace.
Wow. Okay. So the true believers really believe that the robots and the facility, I've heard, almost like a proper noun, a couple times from the NPCs here. So the facility, I'm guessing, is like an AI, like automated facility that does the cloning and the whatnot, and like directs the robots and whatnot.
The settled systems live.
Which makes our mission so much more vital.
How can you be so sure?
If you listen close to your heart.
Yes, I must remember to write that down.
Shh, Ada, I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to
I
eavesdrop.
don't hear it.
Then listen harder.
So he said this is
your
the
life
same
will
dialogue
never
repeat
be the
again.
same.
At the start of it, I guess, is like he says the settled systems lived. So they thought some sort of apocalypse would wipe out humanity. But it's interesting that he said settled systems, because that implies that this was sometime
repairs
after
complete?
Earth became
As much as they
uninhabitable.
can
So
be.
maybe like
I am skilled in many things. but
humans had already
my
spread
hands
to
are not best suited
Mars
to the wrench.
and to
Will the
Titan
facility fail?
with New
The
Homestead and
sands of
stuff
time wears
before
down the greatest of accomplishments.
this mission began.
But with hard work and perseverance,
What?
we can win it.
Oh, you're still here.
Pep talks never make me feel better.
Sorry, Ada. I guess I'm actually
I
done
hope we can
talking to you.
talk
So
again.
thank you, though.
If that were my
Yeah,
goal,
me too.
I would be
You're very
settled.
nice. Yeah, can you go away? Like, all the way away, please? Go, 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 go. We've heard your dialogue now. You can go. I know I'm supposed to talk to her, but I really want to look for other historical figures. Like, Ada Lovelace, Amelia Earhart are, like, the two unaligned ones. But it would be kind of disappointing if
Who
they're the only
cares
other
what
named
sick
NPCs here
experiment
besides...
Crucible was designed for? We need to escape.
Oh, so the Renegades... Who cares what sick experiment the Crucible was designed for? We need to escape is the position of this Renegade here. Oh, wow. So they actually... Yeah, it was something interesting Tobias said. I was making fun of it in the last video. He said, now that you're here, you're not permitted to leave, or do not leave the Crucible, or something to that effect. So I imagine the robots won't let them leave. That they're necessary for whatever the mission is, and they're not permitted to leave. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. And now I can see why Amelia wants to leave. Like, her request now seems like such a big deal, because apparently that's not allowed, like, at all. And not just like social pressure not to leave, but like the robots maybe physically prevent these people from leaving. And the renegade position is they want to escape from here. The true believers want to stay, and they believe that the mission is important and the robots and the AI are correct. And the pragmatists fall somewhere in between, which I guess now it makes sense why FDR would want me to hear all the positions first.
The renegades will use any means to escape Crucible.
Okay, so many failures. I should have been checking for these audio logs. We'll do another sweep through the building I already searched, then we'll be a little more careful in this one. Make sure we don't miss anything. So many failures. Destroying all equipment, failed. Oh, so this must be the Renegades building. So everything in here is going to have to do with them. This is like their attempts to escape. Like she just said, by any means. Destroying all equipment, failed. Tunneling, failed. Tampering with robots almost wiped us all out. Altered mental states, still die at the border. I wonder what altered mental states means. They doing drugs? Sneaking out, failed. How do they know? Running, failed. Clem's dune buggy, failed. Fail. There must be a way.
I would
yeah, I mean,
kill
honestly,
for a new slate of anything at all.
As a member of the Freestar Alliance, like, I'm big on, my character's big on freedom, so already from what very little I know, I'm already leaning towards the Renegade's point of view on things. But we'll see. I'll get as much information as I can. FDR sort of made it clear that they want me to make some sort of judgment call about things. To intervene, because they're sort of stuck. Arguing about things all the time without making any progress.
I hope your arrival doesn't mean more violence.
Yeah, I mean, change very often is accompanied with violence, so I don't know. I can't promise you anything. If we have to take down the robots to give your society freedom, I'll do it. Never fear, Renegades.
I just wish the societies could get along.
Yeah, that's sort of a general consensus. The fact that all the societies wish that all the societies got along, certainly a good sign that they may be able to find some sort of common ground. And if I can help them find common ground, which is probably what the pragmatists want, then I'll do so. But if that means sacrificing freedom, I don't know. We'll see. So I know they said that the renegade or the true believers get like more luxurious accommodations. I would assume that the renegades would get the least. Ooh, Genghis Khan's computer. Okay. Putting a pin in that for just a sec. Ooh, they've got ammunition and stuff back here in the Renegades compound. And a gun. It sounded like they didn't have access to any guns. Other than Sheriff Earp. He must have borrowed, quote-unquote, borrowed his gun from the Renegade faction. Oh, nice. So I'm going to get his point of view as leader of the Renegades on the other factions. Love it. Let's start with the Believer. Or let's start with these, and then I'll go up and check these last. A talk with Ada. It amuses me how nervous I make Miss Lovelace, but she intrigues me. The robots taught me little of the new science, so I piece it together with talks with her. The new science. Last night, Ada told me of her theories about cloning, about this DNA. Now I wonder if I'm even a clone of Genghis. I know from my education that the real Genghis is a mysterious figure. No one knows where he was buried, where he was born, or almost anything. So how did they capture his DNA? Yeah, see, that's my like problem with the Amelia Earhart thing. I feel yeah, Genghis Khan also would have that problem. Um, or did they? One way or another, one way or the other, I may share his name, but I am my own man. Yeah, that's a good perspective to have. Done with experiments. I found the clues I left for myself. Old Mongol trail signs, invisible to the others. Oh, right, because they're being reborn. So like past versions of Genghis Khan could leave like clues for future versions. That's so weird and interesting. It is gratifying to know that I never fall in with the believers. I always rebel. I've tried so many ways to escape, but I cannot find a way. There is no way. The facility must be destroyed. That is the only path forward, but how? Every week, Wyatt's surprise. Every week I visit Wyatt and he shows me the marvels of modern drink. So many flavors, so many varieties. Why did the robots give us such ample provisions in this department? Wyatt surprised me when he, with what he called cactus wine. We literally howled at the moon. I will make a renegade of you yet, Wyatt. You deserve to be free. Oh man, I'm already kind of sided with the renegades. I don't know. Let's hear his take on the believers, shall we? I want to shake them, make them see. These are lies. Why do they trust the machines? The machines that kill us? The machines that hobble us? They kill us, huh? But they are too far gone. And Amonореus is the worst of them. There's no convincing them. I will free them in spite of themselves, even if I have to kill every last one of them to make it so. The pragmatists. FDR may hide it, but he is as quick to draw a blade as I. His greatest weakness is this mask of civility. Yet he has bested my previous lives at every turn. As much as I despise it, it may be his greatest strength, too. He tells people what they want to hear, and they eagerly soak it in. Flattery, two-faced lies. In every battle we've had traitors. He gets to people. As he's trying to get to me now. I think I'm going to talk to Amonореus first to hear the believers' take on things, and then I'm going to go speak to Genghis, because I like his point of view. I like everything I'm hearing from him in these computer entries. He has an even bigger bed than FDR, weirdly. A pretty similar amount of luxury to Freddy. Or Franklin. Alright, I feel like I've done a pretty good search of this place. I need to go back to that other building and look and see if there's any data pads. Or slates as they're called in this game.
You're the
Alright,
most
so
exciting
this is
thing
the
that's
big...
happened, well, ever.
Right. This is the home of the renegades. This is the home of the pragmatists. Each two. Interesting. So like Hab 1. Right, Hab 1, Hab 2, and Hab 3. Interestingly, they go in this order of like the true believers are like the primary, like the ones the robots in the facility side with the most. So they get Hab 1. And then there's Hab 2, the pragmatists at the middle ground, and then Hab 3, the renegades that are rebels of a sort. Alright, FDR, don't mind me just taking a quick look around for slates. I didn't see anyone else in here before, but I'm also curious if you have a computer, FDR? Do you have a computer? It's funny to think of like Genghis Khan, the historical figure, like typing up a diary on a computer.
The pragmatists are not about.
It was on one of these tables in the other place. If we attack unprovoked, we lose moral authority. Yeah. He has an interesting point of view on things. Oh, is this it? No, still nothing. Wait, actually. No, okay. For Genghis Khan, it was on his desk, so I'll check in that room last. I don't think there's any data slates here. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'd be surprised if I had missed one, but, like, I've missed so many data slates in this game that, like, I can't assume I haven't. Oh. There's the public shower. No, he doesn't have a computer on his desk at all. It's funny that Genghis Khan would embrace technology while FDR is happy with being complacent. Which I think is the whole problem with the pragmatists. Genghis Khan's willing to adapt and evolve to meet the needs of the situation because he needs to. Alright, last but definitely not least, let's check out the Believers pad. Okay. So far, very similar. Oh yeah, here we go. This is why we look so many failures. Is this not identical to the other one? It's interesting that a copy of that's in here. Are they just keeping that like a trophy? Like, that's right, we made them fail all those times. Weird. I think I already... Oh, no, I didn't already take this from. Look and see if there's any unique, like... clothing. Apparel for this, these folks, but it doesn't appear to be. Frontier attire I've definitely seen before. Oh god, they've got a lot of space in here. I wonder if this means there's more of them. I can't tell if it's actually bigger than the other ones, but it's starting to feel a little bit bigger. Might just be my imagination being biased based on what I read. No, this is starting to feel like it's the same layout, right? Yeah. Yeah, same size, same layout so far. No computer here either. Which would make sense. They're certainly going to be happy with the way things... Oh. Oh, shoot. There is a computer here. It's on the wall. Crap, now I feel like I got to go back to FDR's place for a third time, right? Yeah, despite the supposed lore about them receiving supplies and stuff first. Same layout. But the interesting part is the robots like taking their side in conflicts. Why do we fail? I believe the mission is pure, but time is harsh and cruel. The machines break down. Clearly, there is no other reason. None of us have succeeded and been sent out into the settled systems. None of us has succeeded at what, though? I feel I am close to revelation, something that will shake the earth, but I'm not there yet. I believe the mission is pure. The machines break down. Clearly, there is no other reason none of us have succeeded and been sent out into the settled systems. So the end goal of the mission is to send some sort of like perfect being out into the settled systems. I'm not the only one. We remember things in our core, all of us. Even the great skeptic Roosevelt I've caught on 2 occasions saying something that surprised himself. I got carried away, he said for the first time, and I must have overheard it the second. Is it so strange that the truth, that truth speaks to us through our body of times past? People have believed this since our earliest times. Some of us still believe. Damn the renegades. Violet left. She joined the renegades. She must have been a traitor all along. Genghis is sly. His feints have counterfeints. But you are not the only one who knows how to handle a blade, Mongol. The renegade's belief is a sickness that must be cured. Not a fan of the true believers. Or this leader of theirs. That is some, like, bigot shit there. My home. I dreamt of the Kush again last night. The scrub, the trees, the soil. There's something to the sky there that haunts me. And our ancestral home, the earth, is gone. Loss and grief sometimes overwhelms me. My kingdom is kingdom. God, now I feel real bad not recognizing the name of this historical figure. Apparently a queen, an ancient queen. My kingdom is gone. My people aren't a people anymore. One day I would build something new, born of the past, a new Kush. Sorry, I bumped my mic again. Something to inspire wonder for the ages. But first I must pass the test. I know one day I will be worthy. The test. The test with a capital T. Interesting. Our numbers grow. The long, hard strategy works. Another has joined our flock. No matter how many lies Genghis spreads or doubt Roosevelt fosters, the truth of the mission cannot be denied. Given time, the believers will triumph by numbers alone. Roosevelt said he remembers a time when there were but 3 of us. Now we are a legion. No one can stand against us. Interesting. So it's not a matter of the factions being balanced or being like purposely balanced, but they actually they have some sort of balance going on. But like, it sounds like the amount of their influence sways over time. I mean, we read that other thing about the on that slate about the renegades being almost wiped out by one of their attempts to overthrow this society. Okay. Oh. Oh, so this actually is a little bit more luxurious than the other 2 habs. Because I don't think this conference room was a thing in the other ones. I think it's otherwise pretty much identical. Okay, well, I think I'm done exploring. Definitely time to go talk to the 2 other named NPCs. I'm not seeing any other named historical figures here, which is kind of disappointing. I feel like a few less of these could just be clone settlers, yada yada. Now, of course, I gotta go back in here and look and see if Roosevelt has a computer on the wall, maybe. Wait, am I in the wrong place? Why is there suddenly a oh my god. No, this is... Okay, I am in the wrong place. Wow, how did I get that turned around? Here, right? Yeah. What's up, FDR? Right, yeah, no conference room. There's a little loungy area there, but... Alright, computers on the walls. Yes? No? Maybe? Alright, no computer for Roosevelt. Okay. Let's go talk to the true believer. Hear her crazy trust the AI perspective on things. My curiosity is getting the best of me. Give me one sec. I'm gonna... Amon Uranus. Oh, that's I was wondering about her saying Kush in her computer logs. Amonarenus, also spelled Amonarena, was queen regent of the kingdom of Kush from the end of the 1st century BCE to beginning of the 1st century CE. She is known for halting the Roman expansion into Kush in present-day Sudan.
Do not leave Crucible. Warning delivered.
Do not leave Crucible. Warning. Yeah, that's that they don't want people to leave. It's crazy. Interesting. So an African queen who fought against the Romans and won. Very impressive. Kingdom of Kush, Queen of Kush. All right, Amonarenus, let's hear
I
it.
had hoped you would visit me. Good.
Well,
know that you stand before Queen Amonirinas of the Kush, queen of a dead
that title
kingdom
means nothing
on
anymore.
a dead world. But I earned my name, and even the sands of time cannot take it from me.
Okay. What's the
In
Kush?
truly ancient times, my land lay south of Egypt, a harsh country. History is enamored of my contemporary Cleopatra, but she would have
contemporary of
withered and
Cleopatra.
died had she tried to rule my land.
Interesting. Wow. That's so funny. My prediction was Cleopatra, but it looks like we got the next best thing. Or, well, in her opinion, the better option of the two. Yeah, I'm not saying this. You know you're not really a queen.
You walk our land a few footsteps and think you know everything. If you don't believe me, know you are not alone. Some clones deride me behind my back. I know this.
You're literally
but I
not a queen
feel
anymore.
in my bones that I am a Manirinas for true. The great and the terrible to those who would oppose me. I remember
but even if
things
you're actually
no one
her,
has
though,
told me. Memories of faces, betrayers, lovers, allies, and enemies. And the smells. The right scent. And I close my eyes. And I can picture all of it. So vividly. It aches my heart. My home. My kingdom.
but even if you're literally her, even if you're like a reincarnation of the actual queen, or even if you weren't a reincarnation and you were just straight up her out of time, without a kingdom, you're not royalty. Like, you do know that, right? Like, relax. That's all I meant by my comment. You sound delusional, lady. How can you be so certain?
Have you no faith of your own? Something you hold
just have a
to,
genuine curiosity.
even though it cannot be proven. It is the same with me. But I
get
am
it.
certain.
You're not certain.
You
You just
speak
have faith.
to a Manirinas, reborn.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, I believe in reincarnation. Maybe you are her
If
reincarnation.
your mind and heart remain open, you will see the truth of it. Once,
She like that.
I called upon mighty armies.
Right, but
However,
then to my point that
on
you're not a
Crucible,
queen anymore,
I
you
still
can't do that
lead.
anymore.
Have you heard of the believers? Have you heard of the mission? We are the ones who will take our rightful place in these settled systems, to bring in a
Can
new
you tell me more
glorious
about
age, and break the endless cycles of oppression and greed.
All right, to bring about a new and glorious age. Is that the end goal of the mission? Tell me more about the mission. You really think you can change
You are
everything?
skeptical. My advisors thought the same when Augustus Caesar stood unbeatable at Kush's border. I made war against the mighty Romans. I took their cities and fought them to a draw. No
Yeah, I was just reading
other
about that
king
on
or
Wikipedia.
queen can boast of that honor against that famed Roman. And that's just me. Some of the greatest lions of all ages are awaiting rebirth. What are bureaucrats, petty politicians, and lawyers against that?
So there are other famous figures that haven't been reborn yet, haven't been cloned yet, but are available in the facility. Is that what I'm supposed to get from that? Oh, thank God for this question. Please do not beat around the bush. I want a real nice, straightforward answer. Oh, woof, I'm sorry about that. I don't think I got to the mute button fast enough. I just sneezed. Apologies if I just blew out someone's someone's eardrum. Could you tell me about the mission?
So many scoff at the mission.
No, don't
Before we are
defend
reborn
the
here,
mission.
There are words all of us are told. That we are the chosen. We are meant to better ourselves. To learn, grow.
Oh my God. Just need a second. This is another frustrating NPC encounter where I just want them to give me information and they think like I'm attacking them or something and they want to defend their position and their beliefs instead of giving me the information.
Thrive. All of us represent the greatest figures in our history. Who better to lead the settled systems to a new golden age?
That's the mission, is to one day depart this place and lead the settled systems to like a golden age. It's just, I thought if I talked to the believers, I would get more of a feel for like what the deal is with the robots, how this all started, what the cloning's all about, why it's important to have these historical figures for it, why, like, I feel like I got more information about what the mission is and what it entails from her computer log entries than what she said in response to me asking point blank. And you want me to help with this?
If we could do it ourselves, we would have, years ago. I do not care
Why
if
can't
my
you?
plan is insane. But what I want, what we want, is a chance to prove to the facility we are ready. When someone has achieved
the test.
the facility is supposed to set us free among the stars.
Oh,
but
now
the
I'm getting the
machines have been
information.
breaking more and more over the years. And no one has ever been deemed worthy. I need your help to properly fix the facility so that we can prove
reaches their
ourselves
potential.
and claim our birthright.
So when someone reaches their potential, the facility is supposed to release them among the stars or whatever. It's found no one worthy thus far. And she has heavily implied that the facility has broken down. Maybe the reason why Tobias needed that copper to try and repair the facility. What is the facility?
The facility is another place on this very planet. A place we cannot go. As much as we dream of it.
Interesting. So there's another place on this planet called the facility where the cloning presumably takes place. But I assumed the facility was like here. Like I hadn't looked around this whole place yet. I assumed there was like some underground bunker here that was like the facility. But that's interesting that it's like separated from the like colony here, from the Crucible. She dreams about going to the facility, blah, blah, blah. Maybe none of you are ready.
Surely someone, anyone by now would have learned the lessons the facility sought to teach. No, the machines have not aged well. The crises break upon our beach, each one greater than the last.
Yeah, I get the part about the machines not aging well. It's really interesting, like, for a faction that's supposed to be the true believers and, like, believing in the mission and the will of the facility and the programming of the robots, she seems to think that they got it wrong. That they're wrong about no one being ready yet, that it's time for them to go out among the stars, but I gotta tell you, I don't think so. I'll hear you out, but no
Then
promises.
listen well, outsider. You
must
must
go
go
to
to
the
the facility.
Okay.
The robots and what drives them
repair
is
it, right?
not here. The facility is where they come from. Somewhere far to the east. None of us can travel there. But you can.
Right,
Go
so
there,
since you can't
please,
leave,
and see if the facility can be
see
repaired.
if it can be repaired. So
Then
again,
report
implying
back
that
to
it's
me.
broken.
Non-resident detected. Valid exception acknowledged.
So... I think very interestingly, wonder why they have these like satellite dishes. Like they're not like sending. Well, I guess they did send a distress signal, didn't they? I wonder if the facility's actually broken, or if she's just assuming that the facility must be broken, since they haven't found anyone worthy yet. Like she thinks that the believers are on the right path and therefore worthy of going out and doing the thing. But maybe the facility's working as intended and the believers just ain't it. And she's mistaken about them being ready. My impression of everyone I've met here leads me to believe that other than Amelia Earhart, who I'm definitely going to help get out of here, no one else is really ready or prepared to like re-enter society, or certainly not to make any sort of difference on society. Now that I'm up here, it kind of looks like Genghis Khan is outside of the wall. I definitely have been getting the impression that no one can leave the like confines of this wall, but maybe they just can't stray very far. I mean, there's some sort of... Oh, there's a big satellite dish. So maybe they can, you know, go outside the wall to like... I know they said something about turrets, and I definitely got the impression there's like some dangerous wildlife around here. So I'm going to get my shotgun out and go visit Sir Genghis Khan here. Get his perspective. With everything I've learned so far, I still feel like I'm going to take his side.
No queries are being answered at this time.
Alright, Tobias doesn't want to tell me anything. It's fair, I guess. Oh, that must be one of the turrets. Genghis Khan's up here chilling.
Stranger! Weapons out! They come!
Oh, geez. Oh god, okay. Got your back, man. Good job. He has a gun also. I mean, I saw the guns in his cabin or whatever. What's up, Genghis Khan?
The man from the stars. Come to see me. And you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. I guess the world out there is not so different than here.
No.
Genghis Khan, a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, pleasure. Can't believe it. You're really Genghis Khan. You're one of the most terrible butchers in all history. I mean, true. That's fair. You're much more civil than I was expecting. These are my only two advance the dialogue choices. They're both super rude. I can't believe it. You're really Genghis Khan?
Don't believe it. It is true his blood runs through my veins. But I am not he. Crucible tries to imprint the clones with fake memories. Genghis predated the Mongols having written records. For being so great a figure, we know practically nothing about him. When was he born? How he died? Where he was buried? A single speech he gave? Nothing. It must have driven the robots mad, trying to figure out what to do with me.
Yeah, it makes sense that of all the figures here, he would be the most independent and like able to break out of the mold that the robots tried to create for him. because there really wasn't much to go on when, implanting him with memories and what have you. Yeah, I'm going to say this, even though it's rude, because it's certainly less rude than this. You're much more civil than I was
Manners
expecting.
cost me nothing. But make no mistake, I will do whatever it takes to escape this prison.
I'm here to help with
pleased that the dangers
if you want to
out
leave,
here
you should be able to
are of
leave.
no concern to you. You cannot be fully human if you trap yourself behind walls.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. Why are you really
I
out
would
here?
provide fresh meat for my society, so we don't get fat off the robots. Franklin
Yeah, it
and I
makes
see
sense.
eye to eye.
You gotta
on
start learning how to
very
persevere
little.
on your own.
But even he appreciates this. And I always hope to see some means of escape. Perhaps our luck has finally changed.
It may have. It may indeed. Yeah, very important to be self-sufficient if you want to escape this place and make it, eke out an existence on your own. Keep your distance. I'm not sure come on. Still can't believe I'm meeting. You handle yourself well.
The
Here. Yeah, good
robots
job.
taught me many things any Mongol would know. So, hunting game, even such as this, is little challenge to me. So
Okay, good.
Franklin
I mean,
told you
that's
of
good.
us. Oh, that we're clones. Some
yeah.
of us think that makes us special. That the deeds of our namesakes are somehow ours.
Yeah, I already
But
talked
that
to the
is
crazy lady that
blind
thinks she's a queen.
arrogance. We are just people. Same as you. Same as anyone.
Genghis, I gotta say, reading through your computer logs, the things you're saying to me now, I think I know which way I'm gonna end up deciding. If they leave this decision up to me, I think I'm siding with you, man. I'm surprised you didn't change your name then. Yeah, true. I think the science would back your... Yeah, true. I think sharing the same DNA as such noteworthy people counts for no. I'm going to say this. But I'm going to ask this first. So you really feel no connection to
None
Genghis
at all. It is as if I were a student of his life and times from an early age. I know so much about him, but that doesn't mean I am him. I am me, and I am content with this.
Yeah, know thyself. Yeah, great. I think the science would back your
Would
view.
it? Oh, you would know better than I. But all this talk gets us nowhere. Too
Yeah, tell
many
me
of
what
the
you want
others
me to do.
grovel at the feet of the damned robots, trying to play their roles in a broken game. The renegades will not submit, and one day we will be free.
Yeah, I know Amelia said she was unaligned, but it sounds like she's got the spirit of a renegade. Yeah, both of these questions I want to ask. What would you do if you escaped?
Everything outside of Crucible is unknown to us.
Yeah, that's part of the curse,
the
right?
settled systems are not so settled that a man who does not shrink from violence can't make a place for himself, though.
No, I think you'd do well. So Crucible is a prison.
Prison of the mind and the body. Crucible holds out a throne and says, "Obey, and it is yours." But thrones are meant to be taken, not handed to you by a machine. But it is a tantalizing lie that keeps the others in line.
If you renegades are so tough, you shouldn't know. Then you should leave.
Were it that easy, I have died a dozen deaths trying to find a way out of Crucible. You get too far or disobey too much, then death. Crucible holds our lives in its hands. But now the robots have made a grave mistake. You can go where none of us can. You hold our future in your hands, and all the societies know it.
It's interesting. So so the facility, I think, is breaking down. The robots knew it. And I assume there's an AI running the show at the facility. They know it, right? So they, even though they knew it could disrupt the mission, they figured they had no choice but to send out that distress signal to get someone to come here to fix the things that the robots are not capable of fixing at the facility, so that they can continue the mission. But Genghis is rightly recognizing that it could go, that could be their big mistake on the part of the AI and the robots. And I think he's right, because I think I'm going to side with him. Crucible really kills you?
Oh, yes. You can go 1 or 2 miles from Crucible, and you drop dead. I have no knowledge of medicine, but it's probably poison. It boils my blood to be subjugated like this. But too many of the clones are sheep. As long as their pens are clean and comfortable, they bleat their arguments.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting what he just said. I assumed that the reason they couldn't leave is because the robots would hunt them down and kill them, and also the lack of having any starships or anything like that. But I assumed they could maybe escape and survive on this planet. If they're able to survive on their own in the wilderness, they could get out of here. But it's the robots that are stopping them from being able to do that. I think one of the logs even said they always find us. How do they know? Stuff like that. But he just added an interesting detail that if they get a couple miles away from the Crucible, they just drop dead. He
Do
thinks
not
it's some
test
sort
my
of poison
patience.
or something like that. Relax, Genghis. I'm talking about how much I'm on your side, so just telling the people. What Crucible is doing is wrong. Facts. If I free you, I have a feeling many people will... No. What Crucible is doing is wrong.
You. Good. You will need it. You know of the facility, yes? Go there and make the machines let us leave.
Yeah, if there's a way to do that, and it's not just programmed into your biology. My concern is the thing he just said about when they get a couple miles away, they just drop dead. Because his theory is that there's maybe a way at the facility to remove that safeguard, but I'm worried it's programmed into their genetics or something weird like that. I missed what his last line is, because of course I can't shut my mouth and just listen to what the NPCs are saying, but he's very happy with the things I've said, the position I seem to be taking. I don't think I'm going to side with the pragmatist. I don't know what FDR could do to convince me that people here having their freedom would
You don't
be a
get
bad
old on
thing.
Crucible unless you're smart. FDR is the wisest of us.
Yeah, and then this line, you don't get old on Crucible unless you're smart? You mean unless you're obedient, is the impression I'm getting. Alright, FDR. I have a lot of respect for you as a historical figure, and a lot less respect for Genghis Khan as a historical figure, because he certainly was quite a mass murderer, but I don't know, FDR, you're going to have to convince me. Okay, FDR, let's hear your take on things.
So, you have heard from the other societies.
I
I must
have.
confess, I'm very curious what an outsider thought of them and their positions. You might be the first objectively neutral party we've ever come across.
Yeah. Yeah, this. But, yeah, the lady who thinks she's a queen is off her rocker, and blindly obeying the robots and the AI is no way to live. Genghis is right. This is a cage, and your people need freedom. This is so wrong. I can't believe anyone would take this stance. I think some of the greatness of your original selves may live in you. Think what you could accomplish. Like, this is if I want to side with...
I do have other business.
Shut up. This is if I want to side with the Queen. This is if I want to side with Genghis. This is if I want to take a neutral stance between the two of them. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this. I'm not, though. Like, I kind of feel like I have a good feel for it now. I'm annoyed that I don't get his perspective before... Like, he wants to know my thoughts before he gives me his perspective. You know, he's being very cunning. He wants to tailor his speech he's about to give to what opinion I've already formed. But I'm gonna lay it out for him. Genghis is right. This is a cage, and your people need freedom.
And you'd let Genghis go free. He's caused more misery in Crucible than any other 5 clones combined. Given a chance, I shudder to think what he'd do if he was let loose. The facility has gathered some of the most obstinate and dangerous personages throughout history.
I'm sorry, I know he's got more to say, but I just need to, like... I'm very frustrated with his perspective already, because... The only reason Genghis did the things he did was because he is a prisoner. He wants to be free. Like, that is not an objectionable position to have, and he may have caused more trouble than any of his other clones. Like, I don't disbelieve you, but any trouble caused by any of his clones... I wonder if he's talking about the other versions of Genghis or the other named NPCs. I'm actually not sure. But any trouble Genghis is causing is justifiable, you know? Like, not to draw any parallels to current events, but if you're living in an open-air prison, you have no rights, no freedom, no prospects, and violence is enacted upon you on the daily, then sometimes your only option, the only option you can see, is to engage in violence, is to rebel in a violent way. You know, it's a very understandable and very human response to those conditions. And I'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, this will be taken off of YouTube, because we all know where Google stands in regards to current events.
It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see appropriate. Setting us all loose and barter as a whole would invite disaster. We are barely fit to lead ourselves.
I mean, I agree with you there about barely fit to lead yourselves, but that's no reason to... Sorry, I bumped my mic. It's no reason to just admit defeat and live under the rule of the robots. I mean, it sounds to me like FDR here is secretly on the Queen's side. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce her name because I really have no idea. We're just going to call her the Queen. Sounds like he's secretly on the Queen's side, and his pragmatism just is a tool to placate people who might think differently than him and her do. Would it be that bad?
The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But
yeah, but that's because of the facility.
And they do take over the settled systems. In the course of history, it took millennia to cast out petty tyrants. The way ahead lies not looking to the past to literally guide us, but for this generation to learn from us. The terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most of it. We should be at peace with it.
I mean, I agree with that. Like, I agree, like, I wouldn't be, like... He seems to be implying that if I were to let anyone here free, that they would immediately set about conquering the settled systems and bending the settled systems to their will in some sort of fascistic way. But that is not, like, Genghis Khan did not at all give me the impression that that was his goal. He just wants to be free. He didn't, in his writings or in person, you know, give word to any ambitions to go out there and influence the settled systems. The queen, on the other hand, definitely specifically wants to go out there and make her mark on the settled systems. She wants to be found worthy so she can start doing that immediately and not have to wait any longer to go out there and try to influence the course of events, try to take over. Like, it sounds very much like that's what she wants. And I'm surprised that his response to me saying that they should be free is to say, like, oh, well, that'll result in fascism. Like, I don't think so. I disagree. And so now I understand the pragmatist's position. He's given away. He's let the cat out of the bag here. The queen wants to leave, but as a group, as a society, she wants to be found worthy. She wants, even to the point of being willing to manipulate the facility and the robots into finding her and her people worthy. And then they want to go out and take over. Genghis Khan just wants to be free. She probably wants to take over and have the robots and the AI helping her do so. I think Genghis Khan just wants freedom for him and all these people here. He even said even the believers he wants them to be free, even if they don't appreciate what that means. And the pragmatists want to maintain the status quo. They don't want anyone to be found worthy to go out and influence the settled systems. He thinks that's a mistake. He thinks, like, he's in the camp that maybe believes that that the facility hasn't found them worthy yet for a reason, and he wants things to to stay the way they are, for them to continue living here in this cage, just being reborn again and again. I'm sorry I keep pausing it like in the middle of dialogue. If you've been watching the series, you know I very rarely do that, but I'm feeling a fiery passion about this one. Don't some individuals deserve a chance, though?
A tough but fair question. I must admit the case of Amelia Earhart sometimes keeps me up at night.
Yeah, she was on my mind as well.
The rule is strict, but if you wanted to make an exception or two, I could live with that. But no one from the other societies. They are all dangerous in their own way.
Oh, son of a... I was so close to being like, okay, now he's being reasonable. No, FDR... The exception should be anyone who wants to leave can leave. People should be free. Period. Hard stop. So if you're of the opinion that some of the people who don't belong to these factions could maybe be exceptions to the rule and be given freedom, but nobody from the factions, none of the other named NPCs, I guess, is like his whole hang-up, can be allowed to go free, like, no. Hard disagree. What the other societies are up to sounds no.
Is something the matter?
I guess my only other choice is, but I'm 100% on the side of the renegades now. Tell me your plan then, but I'm going to go destroy that freaking facility.
Certainly. It is evident that the facility is decaying.
Right,
It is
okay.
both unsustainable and unwise for us to fix and maintain the status quo. Our community
Right,
must
that
be
seems to be
weaned
your whole
off the
thing, though.
machines. Learn how to build, grow, and govern ourselves. Allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation.
I mean, now
And
he's
die
sounding very reasonable.
when our allotted time is finished. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars. We are just not there yet.
I'm so confused by his... Like, he wants to not let people... Like, so... It sounds like he wants everyone here to learn to be self-sufficient, which is a goal he and Genghis share. He wants to stop relying on the machines and on the AI, and to develop it as a natural society with births and deaths and not this eternal rebirth. So he actually doesn't want me to go fix the facility. He wants me to let it... Like, he wants me to do nothing, basically, is his perspective. And that would be fine. Like, I'm all for... God, he's annoying. I'm all for them developing as a natural society on their own. But he wants to establish right out of the gate that it's fascism. That whoever leads this society, and I think he's angling for the position, would get to dictate, you know, to take away the self-determination of others, which is not okay. So, you know, even though, like, I respect his point of view to an extent, but like, he's very much the United Colonies in this scenario, and Genghis Khan is the Freestar Collective, and I mean, and honestly, the Queen is House Varun. Like, there is some very interesting parallels with the factions that already exist in the settled systems. House Varun they're zealots. They, you know, believe that their way is the right way, and they're willing to kill anyone who disagrees with them. And I think that's where the Queen is at. FDR here thinks, you know, they need to advance as a society on their own, learn to be independent and whatnot. But he believes in a more fascistic rule. Like, he thinks that his way, the government's way, should be, you know, his way or the highway type of thing. Just like the United Colonies in many ways is like that. And Genghis Khan just wants to be free to live his life, to determine his future the way that he wants to live it. And that's very much similar to the Freestar Collective. So that's really, really interesting. I want to give the writers the benefit of the doubt and say that that's an intentional parallel to the factions you encounter. You know, this is like a microcosm for the rest of the game, right? Now that's a good goal. Count me. Nope. I will think. Nope. I can't let all your people remain trapped. Yeah. That's what we're gonna choose. Is it wrong if others want to escape this prison?
Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but he's a fool.
Why? Why would that be so bad?
We are an abomination. A science project made for unknown ends and with uncertain results. Once
all I'm
we
hearing
are
is fear-based reasons.
Fully self-reliant. Then we should be allowed to join the settled systems.
I mean, I agree you should be self-reliant, but like what is your... Why are you so afraid of freedom and what it might entail? You can't raise families because you're close. Does that mean you're infertile?
And not to be indelicate, not for lack of trying. Are we even human in this state? We have no future, only the past.
Yeah, it's a rough. That's rough. Like, but that further makes me like, I don't understand or I kind of get it, right? But he wants to be weaned off the machines, but if the machines are no longer cloning them, then they're just going to die out. And I feel like that fact means that Genghis Khan and the Renegades being free is even less of a threat, even less of a potential threat to the settled systems, because they can't really like go out there and cause the kind of trouble. They have one life to live. They should live it in freedom.
Is something the matter?
I can't let all your people remain trapped here.
Please, I beg you. Listen, look, and think. Who are these people? And what would they do? I hope
Genghis Khan is his own person, as he said, and I believe him.
Come to see the light.
He is not the historical figure Genghis Khan. He's evolved beyond that. And I believe him. Even if you don't, FDR. Even if you're living in fear. I believe him.
Over here! Hey, we need to talk!
What?
Ooh, Wyatt wants to weigh in.
Yes, they're still missing so many.
The pragmatists are not about violence.
I'm gonna wait for FDR to finish having this repeat conversation for the 10th time, because there's no dialogue prioritization system in this game. So if I want to hear what Wyatt has to say, I'm gonna have to wait.
You think I don't know them, but we tread a moral path, an admirable one.
Sorry, bumped my mic again. I've got an itch on my head today, and I keep scratching it and bumping my mic.
I hope your arrival doesn't mean more violence.
It will if you don't shut up while I'm trying to talk to the actual named NPC here, who's notably standing next to Amelia at this moment.
I want to see it do everything there is to be done.
I want to help you with that, Amelia. Why?
Listen, it's not safe to talk here. It's about Roosevelt. There's something you need to know.
Listen, it's not safe to talk here. It's about Roosevelt. There's something you need to know. Yeah, I agree it's not safe to talk here because there's all these NPCs walking around talking over you, so I can't hear what you have to say. And I definitely want to... what do you know about Roosevelt?
Not here. If he found out I'm even talking to you about this...
No, yeah, I want to know. If you have something to say, I'm all ears.
Thank you. There's a cave just outside town. No chance of us being listened in on. Please, come as quick as you can. Ideally, before you go to the facility.
No, I will. I'll hear what you have to say. Don't be afraid, whatever it is, I can protect you. If it's that important, I'll go now.
I'll meet you at the cave.
In my darkest hours, I feared that we were all that was...
Wait, what? Ooh. Look at this. Wait. The situation on Crucible is bad and getting worse. The facility that maintains Crucible is breaking down. It is located somewhere else on Charybdis 2, and it's where the robots come from. Each of these societies seem to want me to do something there. This is weird. It's not even on this menu. What the heck? Where is it? Faction? Main? Activity? It's only showing up under all. But Secret Wives. A very nervous Wyatt Earp says he has information about Roosevelt, and I have to go to a nearby cave to talk with him without anyone overhearing. This is a separate quest and everything. I thought it was just going to be an optional objective for Operation Starseed. Why is this not showing up on my menus? What's it called again? Secret Lives. I'm not crazy. It's just not here. Or here.
Left of humanity.
It's maybe a bug that it's not appearing on any of the menus, but... No, let's make sure that's selected, because we're definitely doing that first. 100%. So, Meet Wide Ear at the cave. 27 meters away. It's not far at all.
The mission is
it really is cool. I mean, I guess they can't go very far, can they? Or else they drop dead, apparently. Shit. We're gonna have to go out the main entrance, I think. I wanted to jump over the wall, save myself a little bit of time. At some point in this video, might as well say this while I'm walking out there. There's going to be a jump cut because the stream was having trouble and I was worried it was screwing up the recording. So I ended stream. I checked the recording. The recording was fine. Thank goodness. So you missed nothing. But I did have to stitch 2 different videos together into one whole one for this. Oh wait, I went too far? What? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, creepy. I'm suddenly feeling very much like this is a trap. Is he gonna try and kill me? Maybe he's a believer in the status quo like Roosevelt, and he's gonna kill me to keep the peace, because he's worried that my presence is gonna cause another war to break out. Maybe he heard what I said about siding with Genghis, and he's ready to take me down. Well, let's hear what he has to say. He said something about Roosevelt, which is really interesting. Because he seemed to be on Roosevelt's side for the most part, but then I feel like he's about to tell me something's wrong with him.
You came. I just can't take a chance. These clones, they're psychotic, crazy. If they find out, I'm sorry. I just can't take the chance.
If they find out what? These clones, he says, are crazy and psychotic. You need to pull yourself together. Tell me what this is really about. I'm ready to hear about Roosevelt. Yeah, take a deep breath. I'd like to help.
Just making it worse. I'm not Wyatt Earp. I wish. God, how I wish I was. I was cloned off a monster. America's first serial killer. H.H. Holmes.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I know who H.H. Holmes is. Now, what's the name of that game? There's a recent game that came out. From that like Dark Pictures Studios or whatever that make all those like. It's basically a role-playing game where you make different choices and like role-playing horror. But it was centered around H.H. Holmes. I'm going to stop. But, right, I know who H.H. Holmes is. I'm going to ask. I'm going to have him tell me.
He was a deranged lunatic on old Earth. In the 1890s, he owned a hotel.
Yeah, murder hotel.
People there in this crazy hotel with all sorts of terrible rooms. But I'm not him. You gotta believe me.
The original Saw. No, I get. I'm with you, man. I agree that Genghis Khan is not Genghis Khan. He's just his own person, and I believe you too, man. That must be a terrible burden, knowing you share DNA with Holmes.
It's like a living nightmare. If you go to the facility, I know you'd find out who I am. And if you let any of these bloodthirsty maniacs know, they'd kill me. But no, that wouldn't be the end. Every time my new clone would appear, death, torture, pure hell. I'm afraid it's you or me. I'm going to kill you.
Oh, he really did lure me to kill me. Jeez. Killing me would make you a murderer. Is that what you want?
I really, really don't. Besides Ada and maybe Amelia. You're the nicest person I've met. But the other clones, they would tear me apart.
I really think Genghis Khan would
They're the
understand
monsters.
your strife.
I just don't want to be tortured like that. Please, please
You're
forgive
suing
me.
things, man. Does anyone know your
A few
secret?
of the old-timers know I used to go by Bill Hickok. I mean, I had to make up a story. I always used to read the dime novels, and I figured I knew enough about Wild Bill and Wyatt to pull it off. I just had no way of knowing what my previous life had picked. So I played dumb. But Roosevelt is a crafty one.
Oh, he figured you out, huh? We don't have to do this. There's got to be another way.
I just don't see a way out.
I do. Siding with the Renegades. Be Wyatt Earp. Be the hero. You can choose that.
Wyatt Earp was a hero. Maybe I can.
I can see you're scared. Deep breath. Think about it.
I just am not sure. I'm gonna trust you, okay? Just don't
Wyatt.
tell anyone. This never happened.
Man, I thought he was going to tell me some interesting scuttlebutt about Roosevelt and his secret motivations, but it sounds like he was really just self-centered and worried about himself and his secret getting let out. Oh, yeah, let me not
You're
just
the talk
walk away
of
from you.
Crucible. This is a safe place from all the yammerings of this. You're always welcome back.
Alright. He doesn't have any additional dialogue. Okay. It's redirected me back to this quest, so that's what we'll be doing, of course, now. To the facility we go. Which is apparently in that direction. Oh, am I meant to fly there or walk there? They mentioned it was somewhere else. It was on this planet. The way they talked about it made me think it would maybe be another point of interest I had to go to. Actually, let's... this is a very easy way for me to figure this out without... Oh, wow. All the way on the other side of the entire planet. How did the robots get from the facility to here without ships? That is as a long overland trek if that's what they're doing. Or overland and sea. I don't even know how that's possible. Okay, in that case, we'll not be walking there. We will take the ship. I see. I see. Why can't I scan this thing? That's weird. Can't scan this one either. Guess you're not meant to be able to survey this planet. Whoops, didn't mean to click that. Goodness gracious, just trying to reload my gun. Take a look around the outside first. I think that's probably a loading screen door. Not much to see on the outside, which further reinforces my belief that it's probably a loading screen. Looks like we can probably climb. Oh goodness. Up to the roof. Yeah, not much to see out here. And it is a loading screen door. Alright, perfect. So this is the perfect stopping point for this video. Next time we will explore the facility. I think I've made it very clear whose side I'm on for this. So I'm going to try to whatever mechanism is automatically killing the clones whenever they wander too far away, if that's something that can be controlled here at the facility, we're going to disable that mechanism, and we're going to give the clones their freedom to do, you know, do what they will with it. The pragmatists and Roosevelt are welcome to stay to continue on to learn how to do things on their own, to build a society based on some sort of fascism if he wants to. But anyone who wants to leave is going to be able to leave. People will be free here when I'm done. And the Queen is going to have to deal with that. She's going to have to deal with the facility not being fixed. She's going to have to make her peace with the fact that she's not a queen anymore, and she's certainly not going out to the stars to become some queen dictator of the settled systems, which seems very much to be her goal. That is not going to happen. Not on my watch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, have a fantastic day.